Guys, welcome to the Blue Collar Hustle. Today's episode, I am proud to have Steve and Laura Alexis on them. They are a realty group with Coronado Realty right now, and they are a husband-wife team just killing it out there in the industry. I'd love to have you enjoy their story and get a little tidbits on how they navigate the blue collar life in the real estate world. You guys are husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard?
15?
As far as
Is it hard to do this kind of a business as a husband and wife?
You want to take that?
well, I think I mentioned this earlier, but you don't really have like work and life is not separate. It's all in the same place. So like a marital dispute
Yeah.
is a work dispute.
See, that was a great line. I
Yeah.
like that line. But you got to like what's like the worst disputes that you can have?
Well, I don't even think it's a matter of like them being a dispute. It's just you deal with two people that have two different opinions on something.
Like a
So-
like a bad customer sometimes.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a bad customer.
So when you have two different opinions on a
worst?
matter, clashes occur.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes us a little different because we get to like bounce off
Who's the boss?
ideas. We both are at different times.
Sure. Yeah. We both are. Oh, let's run with that.
It just
Let's run with
reminded me.
that.
Like right there, we're gonna insert that clip where Thor and what's the guy that head's name of the Guardians of the Galaxy? Quinn? No,
Which one is it?
Quill.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Peter
Quill.
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 Yeah,
when
yeah,
when
yeah.
when Thor goes, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Of course you are. Yeah.
Hey, just so you know, this is my ship still. I'm in charge. I know. Of course you are. Of course.
In my dynamic, I also am a husband-wife team, so I'm the boss. So it works that way, but oftentimes it doesn't because I'll always call. Someone will give me a little something to do or a question that I'll be like, I got to call the boss. Hold on. It happens.
Yeah. I find myself often having to refer back to Laura. Therefore, I think we could establish who the boss is.
Well, I like to say it's even.
Even Steven.
Even Steven.
Yeah. So we're going to see your background. Your background, since this is a blue collar world, Blue Collar Hustle's basic premise is to help and give the storyline of where the blue collar world helped you, where it hurt you, where you learned from, things like that. And you have a blue collar background in the carpentry world.
I have quite an extensive background. Jack of all trade, master of none.
Before you even get,
That's my picture in the encyclopedia.
where was that first time blue collar stuff like grabbed you when you was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna go do this. I'm not gonna do this route. I'm gonna do this, and it grabbed you.
First year of college. I knew right away that this was not for me. I tried it. I worked it out. I went to NJIT. I did that for a year. Did not work out. Went to Montclair State. Did that for another year. Did not work out. And I just, at that point in time, I just knew I was never going to be pigeonholed into something where I just have to sit there and work behind a desk or work behind a computer or
Common issue for a
Yeah.
lot of blue collar people, right? We
Yeah.
can't sit still,
no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
I can't sit still right now.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning.
Yeah.
And what you went to
So
first?
right there, I went to the mall and just started walking store to store, applying for jobs because I needed a job. I was out of my house at a relatively young age for other reasons and an entirely other day.
different podcast.
Different podcast.
Yeah.
But I was out of my house pretty early, and just like I said, needed the job, so I would just walk the mall and went store to store. Got a job at Structure before it became Express, a long time ago.
I know structure.
Yeah.
Rocked them structure in high school.
Yeah.
Rocked it.
So I got a
some
job
good
in the
stuff.
stock room, and I started there in the stock room, worked my way up to management, and then dabbled in retail management for some years. After that, went to restaurant management, worked at the Chili's, Route 46. You familiar with that? Like Little
course,
Falls? Yeah,
course,
that was my
course.
Chili's for quite some time. So then I became a bar manager for Chili's for a little while. From there,
When did blue collar grab you? When's the first blue collar?
Well,
Great
that
job.
so yeah. After I moved originally up to Vernon, that's really where like first blue collar, like if you want to say like real blue collar, like I had started like working with my hands. That's when I started. Random handyman needed a guy. My mom knew him, hired me. So that's where I really started into there, and I built my first deck with him, and that's where it kind of really grabbed me.
bug?
Yeah,
And the paycheck, because
Yeah.
it's better than
yeah,
hanging shirts and structure.
yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
serving at Chili's. It does.
Absolutely.
The money grabbed me right away when I was younger. That was my blue collar draw. I was like, same thing. Right out of college, didn't finish, move right on.
Yeah.
Blue collar paycheck landed. That's where they always get us. It's
Yeah.
that paycheck,
I
right?
tried to step away from it a little while too. I went back to school, tried to do like the nursing route. My whole family
yeah.
is
He
my whole
is a jack
family's
of all trades.
Oh my God, yeah.
my whole family's in the medical industry, so I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot. So I went there, and then same thing. Got in there, realized that I just did not want to deal with the politics of what a hospital entails and is involved in there. You'd be surprised at how much it isn't about healthcare. Again, that's
wouldn't
another podcast,
Yeah.
all in itself entirely. And then I came out of that, and I was like, that's it. I'm done and working for myself. And that's when I started my first landscape construction company. I wanted to build patios and
We got a lot of landscapers here.
yeah. So I wanted to build patios. I wanted to build walls. I wanted to incorporate decks into that and everything, all that end of things. So I ran that business for a few years. Got involved into tree work from there. Damn, man, really did a lot of nonsense. Did the tree work, and that's where you talked earlier about like where it hurt you. So I can literally attest to it physically hurt me. That accident with the chainsaw to the leg kind of sidelined blue collar work.
What? Tell that story that day.
They didn't think he was going to walk again.
yeah.
We didn't know if he was going to walk again.
Just standard, random day. You cut a tree down, there's a stump left behind. Got to get the stump out of there. You leave it flat. Started cutting the stump like any other one. Obviously they come down, they pinch at the open end of the cut, essentially. And the chainsaw gets stuck. So, this was a small stump. I figured chainsaw will just tear right through. It was a big chainsaw. I don't know if you're familiar with chainsaws, but it's an 066 steel. So it's the big motor, 3-foot bar on there. It pinched, and instead of getting stuck, it kicked. And it kicked back and stood me up. And as it was standing me up, the chainsaw, full bore, bounced off my knee. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the only thing that stopped it from going through my knee was the bone. So, yeah, that happened. And that literally pretty much curtailed physical labor for me. That was a long recovery. A lot of hard work to put that. I literally had to like devote time back into being able to walk again. And just getting like range of motion and flexibility back into that leg. Which, happy to say, I'm probably about 97%.
Running marathons yet?
No, never will. And that's
Does it
really,
still affect you to this day, like mobility?
but yeah, like we're talking 3%. So it's
So-
negligible.
I'm at 3% right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
with all my joints.
Yeah. I will say this, I used to get fluid in that knee. I don't get fluid in that knee anymore. So, I guess
they
you want to look
did a
at the
great
positive. But yeah, no.
Did you end up going back into the business
No.
after? No, that was
No.
the end of it.
That was
That
the end
was
of it.
where I came in.
Oh,
And
save
I was
the
like,
day.
I don't like that. Are you okay with not going back? Because I'm okay with you not going back.
Yeah.
And I said, let's just do this.
And that's how I got into real estate.
That's when, he got his license. He did the
So that was a pivot. We had to talk about that. In one of our other episodes about just pivoting in the blue collar world. It's just what it is. You pivoted from school to retail to restaurant to blue collar. But the blue collar, what would you say? Which industry of all those three before real estate taught you the most?
I mean, each industry kind of taught you something different.
Little piece, which
And
is
every
good.
every industry had value to it. I personally feel like because I was on my feet all day at all of these jobs, every single one of them was a blue collar job.
We don't discriminate here on the blue collar hustle. We don't just, we're all somehow
The
something.
hospital, the hospital really taught
collar's
you how to
ability.
be on your toes.
Yeah.
I worked in the ER for 5 years. Saw some shit, man. So
Probably a lot of blue collar hustlers in there with the same kind of injuries.
yeah,
Cutting
exactly.
Safety is oftentimes third or fourth on the list when we get the job done. Unfortunately, in the beginnings of a lot of people's building
Yeah.
of their businesses.
Have you ever seen a biker cry like a little girl?
I have not seen it up close. No.
Yeah. So get some road rash, and that'll change anybody.
Yeah.
So that was.
I'm never a bike guy. I was
Yeah,
never. A
I
bike
wasn't
guy.
either. 3 wheels is kind of like my limit.
I'm 4.
Yeah.
Parked slow.
Not even.
Not even. I don't need. You know, I
I'll
used to,
sit in the seat
I
next.
used to like drag race and stuff. That was cool, but that was for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, done.
Yeah.
But
But every industry taught me something different. It's really hard to pinpoint what individually each taught them, but I think overall what they all taught me is just work ethic. I guess if you want to just lump it into one big thing, and just the ability to make decisions, the ability to critical think. I think critical thinking is something that is lacking in society today. And I think
everybody wants the prize before they put in the efforts.
and
It
nobody
happens.
wants to think about how to get to that point. But I think just all those different little pieces of each industry, taught you something different. This one taught you how to hustle for yourself and really like how to put food on the table. This one taught you, this is really good for like an emergency situation, or this is really just good life knowledge. And this is,
So you really tested the waters to get around that. That'd be a good blue collar hustle lesson for people out there. If they're stuck in one trade and they're not feeling themselves getting some momentum, try a different avenue.
Yeah.
Try a different something else. That's what we like to try to do here is in our stories and in our buildings, allowing so many people that are just stuck. You did an amazing job at pivoting in every one of the avenues, and then the boss came and said that's enough.
Yeah.
For them to do this,
Essentially.
but a lot of people don't have that kind of advisement. That's why we try to tell these stories to give people that avenue out. Ask for help. Ask for hey, this isn't working out for me. Would you give me any advice, or would you move on? So that was great. That's a great story. You never had any blue collar world stuff, really, right? Ish.
I mean, I helped him on some of his jobs.
Yeah, you did, right?
So like we
Not
did
the chainsaw
like
one,
the
though.
painting, like things not the chainsaw. Like some of the handyman jobs, I was there. I did some painting, really.
Yeah, I mean, labor is one of those things I think you know better than anybody.
Yeah.
Is a really hard, thing to attain, or even just to hold on to. Finding anybody that wants to work is
Oh, it's impossible.
it's really
It's
fucking
not
impossible.
impossible.
It's impossible.
It's not impossible.
It's really hard.
It's challenging if you have your parameters set at a certain way,
Expectations.
Yeah.
and your expectations are a certain way. If you can open up a little bit left or right, you'll find somebody. They might not fit at the full mold, but they'll find somebody, right?
Yeah.
So like bringing to you guys, and now it's a partnership. You're dating. You're just now you saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
No more chainsaw accidents, but. You pivoted immediately to real estate. You were already in real estate.
I was in real estate, yeah.
We like real estate. Blue collar hustlers love real estate, right? Because on every job we're at, it's some property, it's somebody's home, business, things like that. And let's go there. Real estate. Tell me, what was your draw? Why'd you go there?
So actually, it happened when we actually bought our first house, the house that we're in now. So I was working with a realtor at that time. She's no longer in the business. She actually moved to another state. But she got me into it. Little did I know I was going to go into it, but she got me motivated. I was like, this is amazing. This is great. She's like, you should do this. So she was actually my motivator to get into real estate. I didn't get into real estate, though, right away. I was back and forth between 2 jobs. I worked waitressing, bartending. I did a manufacturing company I worked for. I worked in the city.
So we'll allow you. You have your blue collar hustle card.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. But that's good. It's because you pivoted all the way up to the real estate. So what made you stick with it?
I just loved it. It was like, this is my calling. Like, this is what I was meant to do. So,
Like what?
I mean,
What do you love about it? What inspires you to be
like-
like, I want to sell this home today?
it's more about, it's not even the selling of the home. I think it's more about getting involved in this big transaction. And I don't like to call it a transaction because it's more of a journey for my clients. But basically getting involved in all these like important life decisions that they have to make through the whole process, seeing them through it. And then at the end, they're like, this is amazing. I just bought my first house, So, I mean, I think just
That's one of if you go back and you look at her reviews, pretty much every review is like, she made it easy. And it's not an easy process.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I like that analogy because it's very much like tradesmen. You know, we have to go through what do you like, what colors. We just did it.
Yeah.
What colors do you like? Like it's the same kind of journey. And I like that you pivoted off the word transactional because transactional sometimes is like icky. You know, you're just here for the dollars. So your contractor is just here to make money. He's just gonna take it and run. No.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm the same way. You know, we do commercial projects, you know, $1 million projects. I actually am most inspired sometimes by the little ones when we're able to like be a
Yes.
part of their journey. This is my first home. This is the first time I'm putting a roof on. First time I'm doing like I like that
Yeah.
being able to just like take them through that journey. And
So when
it's
I
the same way.
actually when I first started, and I don't know if you remember this, but when I first started real estate, I was doing like foreclosures, like a
So
lot
like
of
real good looking properties.
And actually, that's probably where the blue collar comes in because we were looking at homes. Like I'd ask for advice from Steve. Hey, this needs this needs that. Like, you know, price wise, like what are we looking at? Cost wise for repairs. So a lot of my clients were actually buying homes and fixing them up. You know, these homes were like they weren't like 400, 500 medium home prices now where we're at are like 430. They were like 100,000. Like those were the types of sales and deals that I did for our clients. So it's like that was fun because it was like, wow, there's more to it sometimes than
Yeah.
just, you know, sometimes you have the easy route of certain transactions. These were a little tougher, which I
You
really
have to
enjoyed.
inspire somebody's vision in otherwise, you know, toe of a house.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's really I like those interactions because the blue collar stuff and the trades world, they interact with so many other things, so many other careers, and as another like teaching tool for us. I like that because somebody that might be stuck doing, you know, oh, I'm stuck. I can't find any jobs. Go to your real estate agents.
Yeah.
Hey, here's my services. Here's what I offer. It's just another pivoting tool for them to like, you know, get out of their own way sometimes. And the same way for real estate. You know, we need partners all the time.
Oh yeah.
Every
all the
time you sell a home, somebody needs something done.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, our list of recommendations, we have a full list of recommendations that we send out to all of our clients. And it's not for the beginning of the transaction. It is for the beginning of the transaction, but it is throughout the whole transaction. And then at the end, print this out, keep it in your house. If you need a plumber, electrician, whatever you need.
I mean, what's worse? You have a experience go bad? Like when you like recommended somebody and like they shit the bed
I
on you?
actually haven't. I've had some that kind of were like, we couldn't really get a hold of them, but it wasn't. I have numerous.
Yeah, I can't say there's ever
Recommendations.
been like a disaster. There's been instances where it's like, you know, expectations weren't met because expectations were set really high.
Not everybody's clients, everybody's customer, and vice
Yeah,
versa, or
you know,
whatever.
People
You know
take
that
their
that's
time.
saying.
People, you know, it's like sometimes, you know, when we ask for things, people will give us a certain price because it's coming from us. So they tack that price on like any other contractor when they're giving the friend price out there. That job gets put to the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I had to stop doing too many of the friends. stuff.
Yeah, it's a
No.
hard
I
thing
try
to
to just-
do.
Medium.
Really, it's a hard thing to do because at the end of the day, you look at that price and you're like, oh man, I got to do that for that, and it's just like, all right, let me get a few of these in there so I can actually do this, or it's let me start this. I got to run to that over there real quick and get that taken care of, and I'll get back to
Yeah,
you.
another advisement, people. You don't have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you got to put your foot down at some point if you're a business or if you're just helping buddies out.
Well, and I feel like it does like diminish your value. Like I think our clients know what they're getting, and it's like 110%, and that's what we give. But at the same time, it's like there is a cost, obviously, to everything, you know. But do you do the extra? Are you finding professionals that do a little bit of extra, and is the quality? Because quality over
Price sometimes doesn't work out. Say it louder for them in the back,
price does not work out sometimes.
and vice versa.
Yes.
So,
Friend of mine in the industry, he's got a landscape construction company. His motto is one of those is it's skilled labor isn't cheap, cheap labor isn't skilled.
yeah, well,
a good one.
we've coined it on this little podcast here before. I think it's a Grant Cardone one where you want a cheap, fast, or good.
Yeah.
You know, you got to only pick two of them. You can't have the third.
It's true, though. It definitely is true.
I think that was Grant. I don't know.